Dr. Kate Magsamen-Conrad here. We're going to take a look at activity here without any instruction and how we might go about completing that. So we're going to click on our Add Response to start. And if we go back to the same place here, this View Instructions, we don't really have any instructions to go by in this assignment description, let's call it. But we do have some breadcrumbs the teachers left us on this screen here. So we can see that it says article read me, which I'm going to intimate means that they would like us to read this article. And we have this link button over here. And we know that that link button is going to take us to something else. Now there are a few different ways it might take us. In my computer, it is set up so that it's going to open this link in a second tab at the top here. This is the article that it said. And so it opens it right side by side, so I know when I'm done reading this article or my learner is done, I can click back over to Seesaw and move on to the next part of the process. It might bring up this web page, whatever the link goes to, in its own separate screen, which means that you're going to want to either, after you've read it, completely X out of it so that it goes back to where you were in Seesaw, or navigate your way back to that Seesaw screen. The final way is that it might replace this content on one tab with the new link that opens up. In that case, again, after you read the article, this time we would want to hit that back button, which will take us back to Seesaw if it opens in the same tab. Okay, moving on. Let's pretend that we've read the article. There doesn't seem to be anything to do on this page, so we're going to navigate to the next page. Now, remember in the other assignment, there was an arrow right here that was taking us to the next slide. Don't be confused by this arrow here at the top, which is actually going to hide that menu on the side. Don't be alarmed if you click it and it goes away. You can just click that button again. I'm going to navigate us to the second slide here, where it's going to tell us some information about the lesson. And then I'm going to navigate to the third slide here, where it's actually going to be the meat and potatoes of this assignment. So this is where the teacher is looking for your learner to put some work. They would like to answer that question using some of these mechanisms here. When you're done, remember, if you want to go back to it, hit that draft. I would also recommend, as soon as you start writing, a few times just get used to hitting that draft button so that it saves your work, so that if something happens, you don't lose everything that your learner had been working on. When you're all done, you'll click that green arrow button, which I'm not going to do because I do not believe my daughter would like me to submit an incomplete assignment. And you can always click this X button here if you do not wish to save any work. Don't worry, it will not delete the entire assignment. It will just delete whatever you've done or even not done. Even when you open it up, it'll act like you've done something and say, do you want to delete it and start over? When I click that, you can see that my last saved draft is still here, that the assignment is still here. So that is a brief overview to completing assignments in Seesaw.